cream of the crop division with cream of the crop fighters. Welcome back to the corner of casuals, and today we're going to go through Chandler v Oliveira. Now, this is an exciting cream of the crop division with cream of the crop fighters, and it's a bit of a different one. As always, if you enjoy our content, drop a like, a subscribe, and the little bell icon if you want to be kept to date with the videos. Drop us a follow on Instagram, Facebook, whatever platform it is. We pump it out daily to get your daily MMA fix. So hit us up. So, Frank, Chandler, Oliveira, let's talk.
Good fight. I like calling him Charlie Olive, so I enjoy that nickname a lot. But very, very good fight. Two guys that have kind of, I don't want to say come out of nowhere, but if you were to tell me like a year and a half ago, oh yeah, Michael Chandler and Charles Oliveira will be fighting for the lightweight title, I would have probably told you that you're a casual in the corner. But it's a funny old turn of events. It shows you how MMA, anything can happen. You're one win away from sort of that domino effect of this happening, that happening. And in terms of like styles, this is a good fight. I'm sure we'll get into predictions later, but I'm interested to see how a power wrestler who's got knockout power versus a slick boxer who's got world-class jiu-jitsu sort of plays out. Two high-level mixed martial artists that are good everywhere. And it'll be a good fight, it'll be a competitive fight. I'm very, very excited for this one and this card. Give me your thoughts.
I like it because we sort of have a very similar story, but on other sides of the road, if you like. So we've got Charlie Olives, who is no newbie to the UFC. He's been around for a minute. I think sometimes people forget how many fights he's actually had, with a lot of wins on his record as well. So he's been putting in that graft. He's been laying the foundations, laying the fundamentals. And then we have Chandler, who's been doing that, but just in a different organization. And then you have a look at both of their last wins as well, both of their last victories. So we've got Oliveira, who had an extremely dominant performance. And then we have Chandler, who had an extremely dominant performance, but just in very, very different respects. We have Chandler, who obviously got that very quick knockout. And then we have the literally complete opposite of Oliveira, who had just ragdolled Tony Ferguson for however many minutes. And again, just equally as dominant, but in just a very different sense of the word. So it's a very, very interesting to see how this plays out. Like you said, it's a nice clash of styles. And it's interesting to see how it sort of plays out. Are we going to see a kickboxing match? Are we going to see a lot of wrestling? Are we going to see some? It's interesting. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, it's almost like for Chandler, is wrestling worth it when you've got a jiu-jitsu guy that's that good? And then for Oliveira, will jiu-jitsu work if you just cannot take this guy down, which I doubt you'll be able to. And let's be fair, it's not like Chandler's just a wrestler and he's just a jiu-jitsu guy, but like that is kind of the vague outline of it. Like Oliveira can wrestle. Can he take Michael Chandler down? I don't think so. Will he try? We're yet to find out, but I do think obviously it will play out on the feet. There will be, it's just a case of what happens in those grappling exchanges as well as the striking. It's just interesting. It's just an interesting clash. I don't think the lead up will be too exciting. Oliveira doesn't really speak too much English. I really like Chandler though. I like his on his Instagram. He's got all the motivational stuff. He's just a savage. It resonates with me. I like him a lot. He's just an alpha, good fighter as well.
You've got to like Michael Chandler, really. If you know anything about the bloke, he's a very, very nice man, isn't he? He's very
good human.
Yeah, he's a good human, and you sort of have to root for him. And like you said, it's a good point because it's not really as good of a fight as it is. It's not really going to steal many headlines in the run-up because it doesn't really have an angle in the papers, does it? There's not really any sort of angle to it. So it's going to be a hard, and I believe this is. Your mum's calling now.
Oh, she's calling Fred.
Oh.
Hold on. Yeah?
And like I was saying, it's just a hard title fight. It's a hard main event to push out because, like I said, it's not a lot of angles. And this is why I think it's such a genius masterstroke to put Leon Edwards, Nate Diaz on that card, because not only does it just add absolute firepower to it. But now you have a big talking point on that card, which is going to help it sell. And rightfully so, Chandler and Oliveira probably are going to get more eyeballs on that fight now, as they rightfully should, because of that. So I think it's a smart move from them entirely. But it's like what you sort of saying about Chandler earlier. That's why I really like him. He has that perfect physique for power wrestling, doesn't he?
He's a powerhouse of a human.
Yeah, he's just so compact. It's like they just have a man get all power and then just condense it into this human. And he's so explosive. And that's the thing for Oliveira. I think that's the thing he's got to be careful with, is just the power that he sort of holds in his hand. And I think when he's going to be looking at his UFC footage, all that you're going to see is just some heavy hands. So it's going to be something that Oliveira has obviously got to mitigate. And that's the thing. Typically, you'll see if someone, and we know he's a good striker as well, but it's the thing, when you're dealing with that much power, sometimes if you are a very good jiu-jitsu player, sometimes you think, okay, I'd rather this on the canvas, but that's not anywhere you want to take it with Michael Chandler anyway.
Yeah,
so
good luck taking him down.
Yeah, exactly.
I bet his hips are just so heavy. Good luck. He's gonna sprawl and brawl. Like, the guy's just a savage, you know. I think having that level of jiu-jitsu is always good, right? It's always dangerous, but having that kind of wrestling in your back pocket where you know you can't get taken down, that level of wrestling, it's kind of, like I said, it's that kind of card in your back pocket that you can turn to, and then you can let it fly on the feet, because you know you'll get there, your takedown defense is there. Like, obviously he will train some jiu-jitsu as well, but he'll know enough just to nullify anyone in the UFC. But if anyone can strangle you, beat you up, then strangle you, it's Charlie Olives. You know, he's a dangerous individual. So it just adds to the intrigue. I love this style clash up the more I think about it, to be fair.
And this is the thing. It's like what you said. It's a get out of jail free card, really, isn't it? It really is that. You know that you sort of have a little bit more license on the feet, because you think, if it does go to the floor, I've got that. So I can let it go a little bit more. And I think that's what makes this even more exciting. But like you said, it's impossible to tell. We don't know. Realistically, he's probably never faced anyone of this caliber 4 or 5 rounds. So it's always that question mark. And if he does get into the later rounds, and let's not forget, he's carrying a lot of muscle, and we know that that's not good for a cardio side of things. And I'm not saying that he couldn't last 5 rounds or he's not going to do it, but I'm just saying this is probably his most highly skilled opponent for 5 rounds. So
yeah, I'd agree.
I was just going to say, you never know if it gets into the later rounds, you find yourself on the floor, you're tired, you're against someone like Oliveira, you're susceptible to getting choked, you know?
Yeah.
That threat is there.
Oliveira's got that kind of frame that's built for endurance, that sort of leaner body. But you'd be surprised with Chandler. He's just such a grinder. Those wrestlers are just such savages. Like, his fights with Eddie Alvarez in Bellator, albeit, to be fair, Eddie Alvarez was the champ in the UFC and he was a good fighter, but he's just a grinder. That guy, I don't think the conditioning will be a problem for either. It's hard to say, right? Because I'd say Chandler is more battle tested, but I'd say Oliveira's fought the better opposition, but over 3 rounds. So it just adds to the intrigue of the clash. Good fight, beautiful card, a nice amount of lightweights in the card. So we know if someone gets injured, then Ferguson or Dariush are going to fill in. I'm not trying to see Ferguson or Oliveira again. So we'll have to see how it's all going to play out. But you know what I'm looking for. We know one thing and one thing only.
We're going to find out.
There we go. Wrap us up. Let's hear it.
As always, you know, all that good stuff. Drop us a like, drop us a subscribe. If you enjoyed the content, of course, we pump it out daily across our Instagram, our TikTok, our YouTube. So get on to all of us and just drop something in the comments as well. Get the conversation started. We're always more than happy to speak to you. Peace.